This is the Speak For Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. Thursday, nearly the end of the week. And what a better way to start the weekend than with a Kardashian story. But first, Whitlock believes that Colin Kaepernick did not accomplish much in his stance on kneeling during the national anthem. Colin suggests that Leonardo DiCaprio would never make a fake Oscar award, so Terrell Owens is just being petty with his fake Hall of Fame jacket. Super Bowl champ Eric Davis is here to talk about whether or not it's unfair that Joe Mixon cannot attend the NFL Combine. Hall of Famer Cris Carter gets personal when he tells you how he felt the first few years he was left out of the Hall of Fame. The dapper Jimmy Jackson, he's going to be all over March Madness, folks. He talks about Kevin Durant's injury, and Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard drops by to put the Cavs' loss to the Celtics in perspective. Panic in Cleveland! Ready for Speak For Yourself? Cowherd and Whitlock, take it away.
All right, welcome to the show. Colin thinks the biggest threat to the Cavs might be the Kardashians.
And Jason thinks Colin Kaepernick just proved he never knew what he was doing. Speak For Yourself starts right now.
Kaepernick and the Kardashians, the exact same thing.
Kind of a perfect show.
The exact same thing. Hello and welcome. We're joined today by Hall of Famer Cris Carter and Super Bowl champion Eric Davis. Let's start with Colin Kaepernick, guys, who, according to Adam Schefter, has decided that he will stand during the national anthem next season, bringing to an end the controversial protest that put Kaepernick at the center of a national debate about race in America. Colin, are you surprised that Kaepernick will stand next season?
Yeah, there are people that commit a professional life to changing things, that are altruistic. Jim Brown, whose basically life mission post-football is to create awareness and have social responsibility.
And create change, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, create change. Cap gave me like 3 months. That's it. I mean, he was the face, I think, of this national movement, whatever the movement quite was, and now let's just look at the optics. Now he's a free agent and needs everybody to take a real hard look at him, and he's bailing on the stance because he said, hey, I think I made change. Well, Jim Brown's still fighting every morning because he'd argue, I'm not making enough change fast enough. So you give me 3 months, that's it?
It was very short-sighted what he did at the outset. He hadn't thought it through. I thought it was an emotional decision, backlash from losing his starting job. When I look at this and the point you're making in terms of Jim Brown and people that really are about change and think things through and are serious about it, we have so cheapened it with this Twitter approval movement we have, from Black Lives Matters to Colin Kaepernick. Creating change is so easy now, and everybody can do it. And all you need is a hashtag, and all you need to do is kneel down at a football game. It is so cheapened, it sickens me because it diminishes people that really do want to affect change and the kind of support they need that goes well beyond kneeling at a football game because you're mad you lost your starting job and your girlfriend has you gassed up on a Fidel Castro book and a Malcolm X book you just happened to read. I have no respect for Colin Kaepernick.
I'm not going to say I don't have any respect for him. I respect your argument. But I respect also his ability to protest as an American citizen. Now, I don't believe in utilizing your job, utilizing the platform of the NFL. That was the right platform for him. But this is the question that I would like to ask him. What are the metrics that determine that you were successful?
Thank you.
Like, tell me what they are, and I'd like to be able to see them. Because for me, it looks like what you said. Now he's going to be a free agent. Now he doesn't want that question asked by other owners and other teams, so he put it out there. No, I'm not going to. So before he gets into free agency, he let it be known that this is the end of the road for him.
Now, what are the metrics that determine, and this is the question I would ask all of you, what are the metrics that determine that he failed? What are the metrics that determine why do you have to not use that platform? That was the platform he had. He was under contract. It's a smart decision. He was under contract, and we see the league do it now. Like, guys aren't being invited to the combine for whatever reason because it's about appearances. He was under contract. He had an opportunity to do it. I do agree with you in saying that he hadn't thought it through. He didn't sit down initially with the intent of this becoming the issue. But what he sat down for his reason for sitting down was the mistreatment of minorities. So he has the right to do that. I respect him for doing it. I understand what you're saying, that there were some people that were out. Jim Brown, we all talked to him, and we all know that he is about change and change for good, and he has dedicated his life to it. But no, this is what I was going to say. Just because Colin decided that now with this free agency I need to stand up, does that mean he has that his fight, his stance, his wanting to do it has,
but it does
stopped?
look it right. But it really looks like he posed.
But he wasn't kneeling, and this is the thing, he wasn't kneeling because of what that turned into, and I thought he was going to stop it before the season ended.
Yeah, but
because it moved into a flag and a country thing, and it wasn't about what he was doing.
And be strident, and then it's like, all right, I'm done with it. It's like, Jim Brown's been doing this 38 years. You can't go all in.
But once he had something real to lose, money, it stopped. No, he had a contract last year. He knew if the money was, if they cut him, he got to keep it. Now it's time to get paid again, and guess what? 7 months before. It's September before the national anthem will be played again.
But Whitlock,
let me call Adam Schefter. Little Malcolm X is now. Let me call Adam Schefter and tell him I'm not going to kneel anymore. But why is he calling Adam Schefter? Call the people that he was allegedly representing and tell them I'm not standing up anymore.
This is what you're saying. This is what you're saying, that, okay, because there's no money, is he better off getting that contract and continuing his fight? Is he better off making money? Hold up. Is he better off making money, standing up, getting on a team, making money, and doing what he did before, donating that money, donating $1 million to places where it can go to work? Or is he better off, okay, continuing to get that knee, take that knee, not make the money, not be able to make that stance, not be visible?
What that release says today is, I'm done with my protest. What I read today off the Schefter thing is, I'm done with it. I made change. So he's not doing that. He's like, in it, out it, I'm out of it. So he's not going to, first of all, show me what he did that we talked about before the show started. I still don't know. Everybody says, well, he created awareness, police brutality. iPhones did. I mean, I'm not going to credit Kaepernick for awareness.
NWA came out with an album, F the Police, years ago, had this same conversation. He didn't break any news that police sometimes get out of hand and there's police misconduct. He didn't do anything new. He brought attention to himself. Listen, there's some empathy I do have for the guy, seriously, and I say this with sincerity. Parents abandoned him, raised by white folks out in the suburbs. This guy thought this was his black moment to show how black he was, and this is the thing to do now over Twitter. Everybody gets to pose and posture like they're little Malcolm X over Twitter. No, I think he was using this moment for himself, and then people ran in, including, and listen, I love and respect Dr. Harry Edwards, ran in, but it gives them relevance, and so they go out and support it. Now they're in demand for people to come and talk to them, and they get to redo the John Carlos, Tommy Smith thing again. Listen, Eric, I'm sorry.
I get what you're saying, but now you want athletes. Everyone wants athletes.
I want people to do real things. I want people to do...
What is not real about putting your money behind it? What is not
Ray
real
Lewis is going into communities and spending nights and getting people hired.
I know that, but guess what? That's Ray's stance, and Ray is that type person. Cap may not be, and I don't believe he is the type person to go into those type communities, so he's trying to help the way that he knows how to help.
To Terrell Owens, who is trying to go to Canton campaigning for the Hall, as only he can. The New York Daily News reports that T.O. actually had his own Hall of Fame jacket custom made. This after a non-stop tweet storm about the Hall, including this yesterday. If they don't want me in, then don't put me on the ballot. I've been told that life isn't fair, but life goes on. These types of antics during T.O.'s playing career are a big reason why he's been left out of Canton the last couple of years, Jace. Do you think this, again, hurts his chances?
No, I really don't. The stuff he's doing now, not letting it go over Twitter, the jacket, I don't think that's going to play any role. The stuff he did when he was on teams is the issue here. Bill Polian spoke to it. Bill Parcells has spoken to it. I've spoken to it. Those are the issues. This stuff now is just, again, T.O. has long had some issues. Great, well-intentioned young man to some degree, but he has some emotional issues. They're playing out over Twitter. I don't care about, every day he comes out with a tweet, he don't care about the Hall of Fame. What do you mean? If my name keeps falling out your mouth, you care about me.
If Keanu Reeves made a fake Oscar to campaign for an Oscar, it would not only reek of desperation, it would turn off the Academy. The Hall of Fame is about dignity.
That's true.
Okay, you can be a great player, high school, college, pro, and not make the Hall. The Hall is a select few of Meryl Streep, one of the great actors of our lifetime, actresses, she's been nominated like 20 times, won twice. Like, you don't understand. Leonardo DiCaprio's never won an Oscar. 300 players total.
Yeah, he got one.
He got one.
Did he get one?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Point being,
Yes.
this reeks of desperation, and I cannot believe Hall of Fame members are not sitting there thinking, are you mocking the Hall? This doesn't sit well with Hall of Fame members.
You made a great point.
Yeah, I just went on a trip with 32 Hall of Famers, 32 current players, went to Cabo, and I wish I could talk to T.O. Because since I got in 2013, I was upset too. I had fired some stuff off on to the media and everything the first couple years, and Jerry Rice was on the ballot the third year, and that's what made me wait another 2 years even after that. I wish he could feel what it feels like to be a part of that group, to spend time with Bobby Bell and tell you stories, Kenny Houston, and just all the great players, the history of the game. Like, he has no clue of what he's gonna miss, all right? And if he realizes that he's actually hurting his campaign, it's almost like he had 2 bad seasons and he's been retired. Because since he was a finalist and he almost got in the first ballot, look at his character since then. And it really upsets the Hall of Famers, and more Hall of Famers are more aware of him now than ever before.
Well, this is what just looking at it and coming from a guy that has the jacket, it doesn't help. I don't know if this is going to hurt his cause or whatever. His numbers are his numbers. The things that have already occurred, that's a part of it. This might be a little bit of icing on the cake if you have a reason to not vote T.O. in. His numbers are there. But I said this looking across from you before. We all knew you were a Hall of Famer, but you had to wait. And Marvin, and you can go down this list of Reed and all of these guys. I played against you guys. I understand, and we know who the guys are. You just said it. It's a special thing. Football is the ultimate team sport, and that is the ultimate individual honor for. So it's held in a certain regard. What you said, I don't understand that frustration. You understand that frustration. You went through it, but it's
real.
It's petty for him to do this. He doesn't need to waste his money on a new jacket like that.
Character is part of the Hall, right?
Yes.
Character is part of the Hall. Could I not argue a person's true character is in crisis? It's easy for me to go watch my son at the Little League game and he hits a home run. I'm great in the stands. What if the umpire calls him out in a lousy call? How's the dad act then? Your character, when you don't get your way, defines it. So we got a little bump in the road for T.O. You waited.
Yes.
Others wait. His little bump, he throws a temper tantrum.
And the voters said he was a bad teammate. And what he has shown over the last year and a half.
He's a bad loser.
What kind of Hall of Famer would he be?
What kind of a teammate would he be for you and the other Hall of Famers? I'm so glad to hear you talking this way, because I'm just telling you this, honestly, because I love football.
I wish he could see the light, man. Because it's amazing.
As a kid, I dreamed. That was my dream, to be in that fraternity. And you just don't let anybody in to dirty up y'all's name like that. And so T.O., to me, I hear exactly what you're saying. If he knew how good it was on the other side, he would be acting completely different on this side.
All right, welcome back. Joined now by Fox NBA analyst Chris Broussard, longtime NBA vet, our buddy Jim Jackson. Let's move to Oakland. Interesting now, where Kevin Durant returned to the Bay Area in a wheelchair yesterday. Yeah, that guy's going to lock down LeBron in 10 weeks. After suffering a grade 2 MCL sprain and a bone bruise earlier this week, Durant's out indefinitely, but will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Jason, the Warriors dominate the league with Durant on the floor. You confident they're going to dominate when he returns?
I watched your radio show this morning, so I want to start with the wheelchair. I just want to debunk your wheelchair thing. Let me show you who else was been in a wheelchair. Let me show you who else. The MVP of the NBA Finals in a wheelchair. 2008, Anybody remember Paul Pierce in a wheelchair?
He still gets mocked for that.
Yeah.
Remember Paul? No.
I mean,
He
it was
came
like
back.
20 seconds.
But
in the
this right here.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
remember?
He was back running full speed like 2 minutes later.
Let's start
They came
there.
back out. There it is.
Kevin Durant will be all right, Colin, and so will the Golden State Warriors. I've served it back over to you now.
First of all, Kevin Durant's a better player than Paul Pierce, and I love Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
I think he's Hall of Famer, all in on Paul. Durant led them in blocks. He's underrated defensively. His length is remarkable. Only player in the league we list 2 inches shorter than he actually is. He's bigger than Bogut. He's the second best player in the universe. This team, people say, well, they got Draymond and they got Steph and they got Clay. Yeah, they did 2 years ago. And they also had 3 bigs and a bench, and Andre Iguodala was fantastic. This team without KD and without that bench and without that size.
He's coming back, Colin.
Okay, and when he comes back, you're going to have to recalibrate the chemistry in the playoffs.
One of them good problems.
Okay, but by the way, if you lose the 1 seed, you don't open with Denver. Now you open with OKC, and then you get the Clippers, and then you play the Spurs game 1 in San Antonio.
You were rolling until you said the
Clippers.
I think they're going to end up the number 2 seed in the West, and it's a different route.
And we were talking about that because you know in the 7-game series they can still beat
Go ahead.
OKC, but it's emotional. That first series, which
Yes.
you don't want. Now, keep in mind, too, with Kevin Durant, we're not talking about his impact that he has on the defensive end of the court. Okay, efficiency-wise, they're a much better team.
Yes.
Defensively, he leads the team in block shots and rebounding. So you're going to lose that component. Now, for him personally, not like Kyle Lowry when he's dealing with a wrist injury, you're dealing with lower extremity. So now you're going to lose a lot of your stamina because you can't work out. So how quickly can he get back inserted
weighs
into the line?
$190,
but it doesn't matter. But even
He
when you
ain't me, Jim.
listen, let me tell you something. You take 3 days off, an All-Star break, you come back, you're winded a little bit. Imagine taking 3, 4, 5 weeks off. It's just different.
Yeah, no,
And then you have to do it. So do you have them not as your favorites now in the West?
They're still my favorites, but I would hate to see if San Antonio overtakes them and they have to play that first round against OKC, if they stay in the 7th spot, that's an emotional series in that first round.
Yes,
they can beat them in 7.
And by the
But
if you play the
drain
Clippers,
them in 5.
Okay, you know who they would get in the second round if they finish second? Houston. Not the Clippers. So, and then you
again,
get the Spurs.
another emotional
series.
series.
And a tough series, too. But look, I think, though, dominate might be too big of a word. But like you, I still have them favored. But it's going to be tougher. But people are acting like the cupboard is bare now. And you hit some good points. But let's not forget, look, last year, Bogut missed 12 games. We're acting like Andrew Bogut is Moses Malone.
And played
he missed
18
12
minutes.
games. They were 11-1 without Bogut. And he only played 20 minutes a night, averaged 5 points. Harrison Barnes, he missed 16 games last year. They were 14-2. Okay, so they're still a great team without Kevin Durant.
So confident Warriors will dominate when Kevin Durant returns. Say you're right. This is the best team LeBron's ever had. You told me this yesterday.
I did?
I agree with you.
Yesterday,
What was that?
I got Darren Williams, Bogut to add to this.
I agree with that.
I went home last night and I was like, you're right. This Miami team had no bench, no center.
You're the only person throwing Bogut's name around like he's Bill Walton.
Oh, by the way, they led that series last year. Bogut got hurt in Game 5, and they were never the same
He
team.
missed Game 6 and 7.
They were
Draymond Green cost them that. Don't put it on Bogut. Let's go head out to Boston, where the Cavaliers and the Celtics went at it last night, with LeBron's squad taking the loss as new Cav Darren Williams clanked a go-ahead 3 with 5 seconds left. Even still, the Cavs locker room was reportedly downright joyous afterwards. Here's LeBron after the game.
Nothing bad about tonight. I mean, obviously, you can always look at the game and see ways you could have guarded this better or did this better or got a rebound here. But, you know, we played a very, very good game, and they played a very, very good game, and it was victorious. It's great to get, you know, what we have right now. This is what we have right now. We're playing some good ball. So it was a good game for us here in Boston.
Colin, are you okay with the Cavs' somewhat celebratory feeling after
I thought they played great. First of all, they didn't have Love, and Corver couldn't hit anything, and they didn't have JR, and it's Darren's first game, and Bogut's not there, and Boston's good, and Boston was at home. And that game came down to a really good NBA veteran having an open shot that he generally, even in a game, forget practice, probably hit 6 of 10. So, I mean, I watched that, and I'm like, that game last night to me was like, if that's the Cavs at 80% against the second-best team maybe in the East that played well, the Cavs should feel great about last night.
Great is too strong. There are no moral victories when you're the defending champions and you got the best player in basketball. I will say this, though. I thought down the stretch, if I'm not mistaken, Jay Crowder hit a big three. Avery Bradley hit a big three. Isaiah Thomas hit a big three. The Celtics made all the necessary shots the last 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and Cleveland declared Darren Williams didn't knock down his. Cavaliers played well.
Look, LeBron is like, what's to be angry about? I wanted a shooter. I got Kyle Korver. I wanted a playmaker. I've got Darren Williams. I wanted a big. I've got Andrew Bogut. Like, he knows everything is starting to come together, and he's feeling good about it. Plus, he understands as the leader of that team, Darren Williams, first game in the locker room. He doesn't want to create like a negative vibe in that locker room to make Darren think he's walking into a hornet's nest, you know, or even make Darren feel bad that he missed that wide open shot. And I think LeBron's also in a position where he can't win either way. If he would have come out last night and been like, we got to get together just because we got talent, everybody's thinking now we're the favorites because Durant's hurt, whatever. Everybody would have been like, why is he creating so much drama? Why is he always causing distractions? Now he's happy, and everybody's like, well, is he too happy?
Great point.
So he can't win.
Wait, here's the thing, too, and keep in mind, all the pressure is on Golden State really to win. Everybody understands that in the East, Cleveland is going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's just a matter of how many games it's going to take. I thought it was huge that LeBron, with Darren's first game, went to him and found him.
Yep.
Point being,
that was something.
Point being, I trust you, and I want you to be a part of this team.
Yep.
Make or miss. Okay, so the bigger picture is, and we were talking about this, imagine having Kyrie running the pick and roll when you got Darren Williams up top, Kyle Korver in the corner, LeBron somewhere on the court. How do you guard it? How do you stop it? So it's going to take a minute for all those pieces to fit together. But when it comes, Jason, this is his best team in regards to overall talent and chemistry.
I was thinking about this today. It's almost such a deep team. It's not an easy team to coach. Steve Kerr knows in crisis, 4 guys you got to have on the court. This team can go big.
Yeah,
they can go 3. They can go small. It's becoming an increasing.
You usually only go 9 deep at the most, typically in the playoffs.
Tyronn Lue's going to have a lot of options, and choices doesn't make it easier. I think Golden State's easier to coach when KD comes back.
Having LeBron on that team will make it easier for him because some guys are going to not be playing at crunch time. That's not a big deal. I just want to quickly address the last shot, and I don't want to make too much of it. I've heard people question LeBron making that pass. My question, to be honest with you, Darren Williams got the ball with 8 seconds, had a great chance to pump fake and get into the lane and either get fouled or dish to someone else. That's what I question more than LeBron passing up the shot. I thought LeBron made a brilliant play and put a playmaker in position to make a play.
On the road in Boston, the chance to win.
Exactly.
I think at home maybe, but on the road, late, you're down several players. Yeah, Korver hadn't shot well. If I'm Darren, I'm thinking, I can get out of town, we win the game. That's why
Or you're thinking, too, when you're in the corner, you're going to spot open because you know the pass may come. So he probably already had in his mind, if I'm open, catch and shoot, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And so sometimes that pre-thought of you're preparing yourself for that situation, you don't think about the other options you have.
Chris Carter, Eric Davis back. Let's move to the NFL Combine, where Lions GM Bob Quinn says he's open to drafting Oklahoma running back Joe Mixon, and that it's, quote, really disappointing Mixon was barred from the Combine because of the 2014 assault charges because of Mixon's past. Whoever drafts him is sure to face a serious public outcry. That we can assure you. Would it be fair, Jason, to criticize a team that drafts Joe Mixon?
No, I would not criticize them. Listen, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. We drafted Tyreek Hill. Guy was a great player for us this year. I believe in second chances. I loved your point in the build-up of the lead-in about this is the Combine's a TV show, so I get why they're saying, no, not good TV, we won't have him there. In terms of giving this young kid a second opportunity, I 100% believe in that. he made an awful mistake, a repulsive, reprehensible mistake. I get why people are bothered by him, but we have to live in a country where young people can have an opportunity to overcome their mistakes. Right. And so he's worthy of that.
Yeah, I think all these general managers, and I'm speculating here, but they've got a series of things they're okay with and a series of things they're not. I'm okay with weed. I'm okay with non-quarterback if at times you struggled with a coach in college. I believe Michael Vick deserved a second chance. Violence against women, for me personally, is a non-starter. I would take that person off the board. That, as a GM, that would be my non-starter. But I would also, there are a lot of things that can happen in college. Quarterback Johnny Manziel was off my board. I can't have my quarterback acting like that. But I would have taken most players with some, what you would call conflict issues. Just for me personally, violence against women's a non-starter, you're off my board. So for me, it bothers me.
I believe there's a couple things the NFL can do. Now, they've made a stance as far as guys that get into these issues, violent issues, off the field in college, that they're going to penalize them by not letting them come to the combine. But if they were allowed them, penalize them also by suspending them from the beginning of their career, set that mark back, or also not allow them to have a pro day. That would be more penal. So I think that this is more of a PR move by the NFL.
Agreed.
Saying that these 4 or 5 guys, they have, because I know I talked to the people at the NFL office, they have between 2nd and 5th round grades. There's 4 of them. They didn't invite them because they wanted to make a stance and let college players know that your behavior can penalize your entry into the NFL. But if they were more serious about it, if a guy had a serious offense like this, he would come in with the first strike and be suspended for the first 4 games. So at least you would be consistent with the penalty you have for the current players. Because I don't believe, and I stated this when Ray Rice went through the whole issue, he shouldn't have been penalized his whole career. Now, Joe Mixon, like you
3
said...
3 yards of carry, penalized him.
Well, no, he would have still been playing on another team, though.
3 yards.
I mean, that wouldn't have ended his career. Like, we know that. We know what happened to him. All right? Ray Rice did not get a chance because he was the first one.
That's why his career was ended.
Yeah, so I would just like him to be consistent with the rules that apply to NFL. If they're penalizing them and not letting them come to the combine, which is their show, the penalty should be a little more severe, especially as far as domestic violence is concerned.
No, and Colin, you just said that would be every general manager has a list of things that he won't tolerate. No, they don't. If you can play well enough. There's nothing on that list.
Yeah, because it becomes a variable. If he's a defensive end.
Yes, it depends. It depends. Questionable character. Supreme talent. It supersedes questionable character. That's just the way it is in the NFL.
So if the NFL, what the NFL is basically saying with Mixon is there are stages here. You can help yourself at the Combine. You can help yourself at the Senior Bowl. You can. Yep. So what the NFL is just saying is we're taking the Combine away.
We're taking the Combine away, and that's why I said.
And that can't help you.
But that's why I said it's disingenuous to say that these guys can't go. You're right. It's a TV show. It's about the ratings, but you're not. You already saw a GM saying, "I wish he was here."
Yes.
I wish I had a chance to draft him. I will draft him.
A player can help himself in a round in the draft. If you're great at the Combine,
there's no doubt.
So what the NFL is saying is, we're not giving you that extra, that you'll not be allowed to help you.
You can help, but let me just say, you can help yourself just as much on your pro day. They're going to look at him, and if you like him, you like him.
I want to dig just a little bit deeper. I think, Chris, you've coached a lot of high school football, helped a lot of young people.
Yes.
I want to defend football people, Bob Quinn, the NFL, in terms of we have this elite media that wants these guys completely banned.
Yes.
And they have no insight into football and some of these kids and where they come from, they have no insight into their lifestyle, their background. And so I don't know Joe Mixon that well. I know kids like Joe Mixon that start out in a neighborhood where the standards of violence are completely different from this elite suburban 1% lifestyle that everybody that's talking about this issue is completely different. And there are some people that come out of neighborhoods where a woman is just as likely to kill you as a man. And so when you come from that and you make mistakes at a young age as it relates to violence towards women, there are football people, religious people that understand I can take this kid and help evolve him from that, and he deserves that second or third chance. So it really upsets me when elite people that have no idea about what poor people go through and how their journey starts.
This is the thing. The numbers say it. Violence happens wherever you live.
Yes.
As far as African Americans, 93% of violence happens with African Americans. That's where they live. Caucasians, 83% happens to Caucasians. On Caucasians, because that's where violence happens where you live. So, but you have to be in the business of second chances because the numbers, the demographics support that ages from 21 to 25, this is what we're dealing with in society. So now they just expect the athletes to be different than the society when the numbers match up to each other.
And as the guys grow, and remember, you're talking about, think about the things we did in college. Think as we grow, as we mature, you have an opportunity, and I know that I see what you're getting at. As you grow, and that's why I wouldn't kill a team for drafting these guys, just like with Tyreek Hill. As you grow as a man, as an individual, you can learn from others. There are old heads, and you were one of those guys. I know how they took me under their wing, the older guys on the team, and taught me how to be a professional, how to carry myself, what is out there, the help that you can do for people as you grow older. I became one of those guys that was doing that with younger guys. Still do it today. Still call some of these knuckleheads and like, guy, what are you doing? So that right there is a part of it as well.
That's
because
part of
you
the
come
NFL
from
culture, and they should keep that.
Yeah, so that's going to happen, but you can't just throw these kids away because no matter how egregious the mistake was, if they really are trying to fix it, give them an opportunity to fix it.
This is the Speak For Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. Folks, we love the comments. We love the Facebook likes. Instagram. We're still working on Snapchat. We may have Colin's Christine Leahy try to come and help us out. She's apparently big on Snapchat. And remember, all the podcasts are on YouTube, SoundCloud, and of course, you're a subscriber on iTunes, but don't forget to tell all your friends. Hey, how about that Lonzo Ball kid, huh? A lot of Lonzo Ball talk this week. We're going to do more next week. We're actually off Friday, and we're back next week. Enjoy the college hoops.